another path and went to music. And when I started just following my dream, I just said, to heck with it. I'm not going the path where, a lot of my cousins, and I have nearly 80 cousins, if you believe it, and all of these different paths that they took, essentially, some took musician's path, but most of them took the regular path of getting a job. I couldn't do that myself. But I'll tell you, when I first started out, I could not be more grateful and be more humbly and lovingly thankful to my father and mother back when I had gone out and did all the adventures I needed to do, that I came back to the house that we had, and they allowed me to stay in the basement and to start my work in doing the things that I was doing. And that's where I actually, like you said, the monk, I grew the beard. The hair that you see me have now was down to my back. People would cross the street when they saw me coming. It was like, I was into another place. I was walking with the staff and looking like the hoods. And I just experimented with myself. And it was so interesting because I didn't have any money at this time as well. But when you do who you are in your heart of hearts, and the universe knows, and you open yourself up to the universe and you make that vision, you cast that vision forward. I'm telling you, the alchemy of envisioning who and what you are and being it, not saying that I want to be that, but saying that I am that. A lot of people make the mistake and do not understand how mind power and mind alchemy works. Mind alchemy works outside of time. If you trap mind alchemy in time, then you go through a process that keeps you almost feeling frustrated that you're not arriving at that vision. Knowing the vision and then living the vision and being in the isness of being, not in the was, not in the will be, but in the isness of being. It is when you speak of the thing that you wish to see happen as it is happening now and you are in it now, then you do not project yourself into a future. Now, know this, that if I am in point 0 and I say I want to be over there, then if you say I want to be that, then know that if you are not knowing that you are already that the point where you are and the point where you think you need to be creates distance, and distance creates time. So I'm giving you the secret to alchemy. The alchemy is that if I say I want to be something, it means that you have set your own time traps for yourself. If you do not claim that you are that now and act it, be it, obsess it, and know it, then the universe will not give you what it is that you think you want later on, because the universe is responding. The alchemy of the mind is that the universe is responding to your mind. All is mind. All my students know that the first thing they study when they come here is that all is mind, and that any time you use your mind to do things in the third density, that you are actually projecting from fourth and fifth density, and that third density is where you get trapped in time. So your thinking process has to change. You look at time as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That's why you have caused the universe to act that way for you. But if you do not live in the moment that you wish to be, if that moment is not now, then it will never be. Or it takes so much time, it frustrates you, and you feel that I want to be that, I'm going to be that, I wish I could be that. No, you have to be it, or the universe does not respond.
Oh. Man, that was profound right there.
Yeah,
it's only
absolutely,
science.
Family. As family, as you may recall, Redman shared this gym with y'all a while ago. I'll be there. I'll be. It always comes through the rappers, I'm telling you. But because of the family, the way in which he has an affirmation on his song where it says, and they say he ain't shit, and he goes, I'll be that. So He's using it in that context, but still the science is always there. You know what I'm saying? Family, whether you're looking at the mad scientists or the scientists, the science is always there. Science is always being put in place.
That I am whatever you say I am. The I am.
Mm-hmm. I am that I am.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to operate
know
that way.
In the place, in the isness of being. If you're not being in the isness, and that is the now, then you're stuck in the was. Because remember, your thoughts are only of the was. Let me say that again. Your thoughts are only of the was. Only your actions are of the now. Listen carefully to what I just said. In alchemy, your thoughts are always the was. So you cannot use thought to solve problems. You can only use it to recall what you've learned, and then with where you are, do what is now. And in the isness of being, shape your future. But you cannot live for what you think you want, because that does not exist. And you cannot live for what you thought you should have been, because that doesn't exist. So know that in the science of alchemy of the mind, know that you have to be in the isness of being. And then doing the now is the isness of being. And do what you say you wish to be in the future. Do it now. Practice it. Do whatever is necessary. Hone it. Get the skills of whatever it is that you wish to be. Do that now, because that's what you are. I am that, not I will be that. Because as soon as you say I will be that, you've created time.
That's profound, brother. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's profound. And you just coined a new term. Isness?
It's an old term. We've been doing, that's some of the things we teach at our school. The isness of being, understanding the difference between thought and intelligence. There's a difference between thought and intelligence. All thought is of the was. So anytime you're thinking of anything, it's only about recalling, because your thought is nothing more than a container. And since thought is only a container, thought can only be of the past. It can only represent the accumulated experiences you've had. You cannot think of a thought that never was. You can only filter in through the conscious medium of the social consciousness or from the Akashic records thoughts that have gone before. But all thoughts are essentially atoms, and as atoms, they already exist, and they're therefore there in the past. So therefore, all thoughts are in the past. Thinking is now. Say, for instance, I can help you to stop thinking. The way you stop thinking is by learning. Once you go into learning, learning stops thinking. My master said that. That was Krishnamurti. He said, if you are learning, you are no longer thinking. Thought stops. So to be staying in a constant state of learning, investigating, not trusting what thought is giving to you. Because remember, if thought made you feel good about an embarrassing moment, or the thought made you feel good about protecting yourself against being injured emotionally, then that thought will be your friend, and it will defend you, and it will call you to act from egotistical ways. Thoughts don't die very well. They don't really like to die out. So the worst thoughts you have, the ones that have been keeping you back but have been keeping you comfortable about the way you are, those are the hardest to die, especially when somebody hits home with a truth about you. You defend yourself so badly against that truth because it hurt. That thought said, no, don't, you can't know that. So the thought begins to start defending you, and you start telling them, no, that ain't the way it is, and you start attacking. And that's that thought. That thought wants to live. A thought is a living thing. It breathes like you. In fact, it's one of your children, and it constantly calls to you from the inside of your mind, telling you, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. It screams like a whole house full of yelling, screaming children. And there are a lot of people who got all them thoughts inside of their head. Give me attention. Well, when you clean those, when you have a mass eviction of all those thoughts that have been weighing you down, and when you go into the silence, that's where you find the